Yes. United States Grand Jury, District of Maine, in respect to Raymond Carter, John Dickerson, Eugene Kelly, Uno Ivaran, Russell Odone, Porter OHara, Franklin Pryor, Joseph Riccardi, Bertie Teal, Leslie Wallace, Ed Welsh, Philip Williams, Richard Taylor. Testimony of Robert OHara, given before the United States Grand Jury, District of Maine, at United States District Courthouse, Bangor, Maine, on December 11, 1985. Appearances: J. McCloskey, Esquire, Corrine L. Keene, Grand Jury Reporter. Robert OHara, a witness being first duly sworn, testifies as follows. Examination by Mr. McCloskey. Mr. OHara, would you have a seat and spell your last name for the court reporter? O apostrophe H-A-R-A. Mr. OHara, directing your attention to November 13, 1982, were you involved in the importation of marijuana at Zane's Landing in Bremen, Maine, correct? Yes, sir. You were arrested on that evening, correct? Right. Subsequently, you were indicted by a federal grand jury, correct? Yes. And you pled guilty to that indictment? Yes. And you signed a cooperation agreement with the government, correct? Yes, sir. And that agreement provided that, what did it provide as far as your understanding, Mr. OHara? That I would cooperate with the government to, or what I know of, other smuggles, and that I would receive no more than 6 years. Were you eventually sentenced by Judge Sear? Yes, I was. And what did you receive for your sentence? 2 years. And did you subsequently go to jail for a period of time? Yes, I was in Allenwood for 15 months, presently in a halfway house in Portland, Maine. How long will you be there? 3 more months. Now, have you been beside that situation at Bremen, Maine? You were involved in other marijuana smuggles, correct? Yes, sir. Approximately how many were you involved in? 2. 2 others beside that one? Right. And you have testified in other cases, correct? Yes. For the government? Yes, sir. Now, directing your attention to 1981, were you involved in a hashish importation which came into Raymond Carter's place in Dutch Neck in Walboro, Maine? Yes. Tell us what you did. What was your role in that? I was an offloader. I rowed out in a small boat which belonged to one of the Wishenbachs, and I was transferred into a bigger boat, larger type boat, that Frank Pryor was the captain of the boat, and we proceeded offshore and offloaded from a large boat onto a smaller lobster boat, and then we came in and offloaded onto trucks, onto a dock which eventually went onto trucks in Raymond Carter's property. Were you paid for your participation in that? Yes, sir. How much did you receive? $10,000. Do you remember who paid you? Robert Kenny. Could you describe how the hashish was packaged? It was in tin canisters, about that square, indicating. How much approximately did they weigh, if you recall? Between 60 and 80 pounds, I'd say. A piece? Each, yes. Now, when you were at the offload site, did you have occasion to see someone by the name of Uno? I saw him earlier in the evening when I was being dropped off, getting in the boat to go out. I saw him at the dock where I was dropped off. And was he with other individuals at that time? There was just him and I and another person. Okay, and you didn't see him later on? No. At that time, do you know an individual by the name of Buzzy Williams? Yes. Was he there at the offload site? Yes, sir, he was. How long have you known him? 5, 10 years, somewhere in that. Do you know him fairly well? Yes. Did you see any other priors there? Craig and Stephen were both there. And how about Bertie Teal? I don't think Bertie Teal was there. I didn't see him if he was there. Did you know Bertie Teal at the time? I don't think so. I know him now, but I'm not sure if I would have known him back then. So he may have been there, but you may not have known who he was. Right. Did you know anybody? Did you know everybody that was there? No, I only know 2, 3, 4 people that was there. Most everybody. I'm from the Rockland area. This place is in Bremen, and most all the rest of the people were from the Bremen area. I didn't know the rest of them. How many people would you say were there at the offload site approximately? Maybe 20, 25, somewhere in that vicinity. When you went out to the mothership, so-called, to get the hashish, did you have occasion to see anybody that was on the mothership at the time? The only person I saw in there was Peter O'Brien. And is he a local person? Yes, sir. Do you know a Joseph Riccardi? I know who he is now, since then, but I didn't know him back at the time. Do you recall whether he was there or not? I wouldn't have known if he was or not. And how about Leslie Wallace or Essie Wallace? Essie Wallace, yes, he was there. Any questions of Mr. OHara, ladies and gentlemen of the grand jury? By a grand juror. Were you on the mothership? No. By Mr. McCloskey. Now, was there an occasion during that time where there was a problem with one of the trucks? Yes. I worked. We were on the last boats. I was one of the larger. I was on one of the larger lobster boats to be offloaded. So we were on the last boats offloaded. I worked right on the boat there with the captain, Frank. And I heard him say that one of the trucks that was already loaded went to leave and got stuck. And so I remember hearing them, that there was a truck stuck up on the road. You didn't see it? No. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? If not, thank you very much.